Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Popular Demand Movies. I am your boy Delon. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am terrible. Rashad,
Not terrible.
Rashad got the new. Rashad got the new background. The red curtain, red drapes back there.
It's the red screen so that I can do the string thing. It's for a string thing. Don't worry about it.
You see it.
And Russ Corleone, how you doing?
I am doing great, like Elle Fanning in the Great, so you love to see it.
Yeah, so today we are going to be going over Netflix sensation John Henry starring Terry Crews and Ludacris for some reason.
Sensation.
Sin with S-I-N.
Man. That movie was full of so many stupid ass puns. Before we get into it, this nigga's name was Hell, right? And then the grandma said, "Hey John, if you want the address, look at the drawer. He got some bills that ain't been paid. And take him that gas bill. That's overdue." Let's start there. First off, it's ironic because the gas bill is overdue. So you light niggas on fires. Second off, that nigga's name was Helen Henry.
Who the
Which
fuck
was wild.
names their child Helen? Who the fuck names their in? Because how old are these niggas? This is like maybe 20.
They gotta be like in their late 30s,
right?
right?
They gotta be in their late 30s. So what? They probably born in 1980, something like that.
No, they were teenagers in 86 on there on the flashback.
Yeah.
I think he shot.
Okay, so 1970. 1970s
yes.
Kids was popping out, and a young boy was in somebody's arms. And you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna name you Helen. That shit don't seem cool.
It was a different time, Rashad.
Man.
Oh, in the West time, I understand it now rather than then. And the funny thing, last thing I'm saying before we get into it, that nigga Ludacris was a 40-year-old man named Helen who ran a drug dealing empire with a metal jaw and a plum suit in the daytime.
Look, man.
No. What really killed me was the fact that he had like a plum suit on and he had everybody else wearing all white for some odd reason. Like, not only are you selling drugs, but you are literally kidnapping women and y'all
in broad daylight, in
white,
like clad white
daylight. Yes, like they pulling up with all white jumpsuits like Yo Gotti in 2007, and nobody knows them.
Not Yo Gotti.
Y'all don't see that all white outfit right there. It don't make sense to not secure your women around niggas in all
I can see 3 dudes in all white doing anything, and I'm like, nah, I gotta get out of here.
I got
they can be minding their business, checking out.
Here's an idea. Maybe they were all white because for some reason they didn't pay the electricity bill and they was running the house under black lights. If y'all didn't notice that, everything was just a black light. Imagine they was wearing black shirts.
It was dark.
They can't be wearing black shirts under the black light.
So we get that. I get that. I do. And that actually makes sense now that you bring it out. But just turn on the lights, my nigga. Like, what the fuck?
Please. Or at least light a fire so we can see. At least that.
All right.
Somebody in this bitch grab a flashlight, for God's sake.
We'll get to the movie. We'll get to the movie in a second. But first, Chris wanted to do a nice little opening segment where we talk about things we've been watching for the last couple of weeks since we recorded our last episode. So, has anybody been watching anything? Anybody watched anything interesting? TV and movies.
I finished The Midnight Gospel on Netflix, and that shit hurt it. That shit was real, boy. The Midnight Gospel follows the story of a guy in space doing a space podcast. He goes to different planets and interviews people. But caveat, these planets are always dying. So before he'll get to these planets, something is about to happen that's going to make these planets explode, combust, or just be completely devoid of all life. So he interviews people on what they don't know is their last moment. And it's always a really, really interesting conversation. Along with, you get to see the action on how shit unfolds every single time, on how these planets are dying and shit like that. It's super cool. It's super fucking cool. Y'all need to definitely watch it.
Does he tell them that the planet's about to die? Or
Nope.
Oh.
Because that would
see how real they are.
That would skew the content. That would mess it up. and probably send some people into an existential crisis at that point. If I know I'm taking ready to die in what, an hour, I'm not gonna interview you on how I feel about religion, love, magic, life, my life experiences, sexuality, and stuff like that, because they get into some really deep conversations
before they die.
Before he lets them die.
Such is life.
Interesting. So you would recommend it?
Highly recommend.
I've heard some good stuff about it. I might check it out.
Okay. All right. So Christopher, what have you been watching?
I'm on the last episode of Devs. It's an FX show. It's on Hulu. It's really, really good. Really good. Let's see.
There we go.
Wait, have you been watching it, Corey?
Yes.
Man, I tried to give Rashad to watch, but he was like, "Nah, man, it's about Devs. I can't watch it."
It's pretty good. I'll be honest. It's really good. Like it's slower in pacing than I thought it was going to be, but when I had to think about what kind of show it was, I'm like, it never built itself up to be like a big action explosion.
Yeah.
There's probably maybe like 3 real action scenes that have happened in the entire 8 episodes. I'm on the 8th episode from the last one, but the 7 that I've seen, there's maybe been like 3 real, like action scenes that require, real set pieces to do it. But it's still really good. It's about the dude who did Ex Machina. He's done some other stuff, so it's kind of got that vein of.
He did Annihilation too.
Yeah, and Annihilation. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's what I watched. I watched that recently. I watched the finished Devs. I watched Annihilation finally, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's been a while since we last recorded. Let's see. And I watched First Man. I've been movie shopping, and I've been getting some really good deals at places. And I watched First Man from Damien Chazelle, the guy who did La La Land, or the Ryan Gosling movie about what's the dude named that land on the moon? Neil Armstrong. Aha. Look, it took me a second. It's really good. It's good. So that's what I've been on. Those are a lot of really good things.
All right. Corliss?
And I've been watching The Great. I finished the first 2 seasons of Succession like 2 weeks ago, and I finished Barry not too long ago. All 3 super great shows. HBO don't miss, Hulu miss sometimes. They did not miss with The Great. Super funny, super quirky. I love anything historical, even if it's not 100% fact. And it's basically explaining how Catherine the Great became Catherine the Great, before she took her husband's crown. Spoiler alert.
That show is fucking hilarious.
It really is.
Chris, Rashad, I ain't
I'm trying to see. Barry is the show about a hitman that moves to LA to kill somebody, and then he realized in the middle of his hitman assignment that he wants to be an actor. So he's going to acting school while also being a hitman. Hilarious show. Succession, super rich family, which is they run the alternate version of Fox News, basically. And the dad realized that he's sick, old, and dying, and he don't know which child to give the company to, so they all kind of going to war about that. It might be the best show on HBO right now. Not gonna hold you.
I've heard that too. I've heard that's probably the best one they got.
Might be better than Game of Thrones.
Oh man, they're gonna tear you up for that one.
Huge fact.
Well,
man,
I don't know.
No, not now.
I say after that last season,
they act like they like Game of Thrones.
I know that last season has them thinking the entire show was whack. Like, man, I remember season 3, episode 4, minute 17, when instead of just killing the dude, he was just like, I don't want to fight. Terrible writing. I was like, that was fire.
My goat won. Hey, my goat won, so I'm happy.
Huge
Who's
fact.
your goat?
So,
you saw it?
So me recently, I did the most adult thing I've done so far and got HBO.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I'm currently finishing up Vikings.
Okay.
Just started Game of Thrones for the first time. I've seen the last season. Didn't see anything before that. Yeah, I've never seen Game of Thrones except for the last season.
Damn, that's tough. Well, you know what? There's actually a great thing.
So,
you want to exactly.
I thought the last season was fine. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Everybody else around me, Byron was mad. They was all angry. I was like, this is cool, but hey, if it can only get better, I'm lit. I'm knee deep on Sex and the City.
Okay.
Okay.
Four seasons in there.
Love to see it.
What about watching the movies lately though? And documentary wise, that MJ doc got me want to get back into docs like that. Ain't gonna lie to you.
I respect it.
But So now it is time to get into the movie of the hour. John Henry, Terry Crews, Ludacris. So
Look at
fellas,
Rashad. Look at Rashad.
The girl from Empire.
girl from Empire.
Word.
So that nigga Rashad whipped around. So if anyone doesn't know, that John Henry is a folklore about was he a slave? I don't think he was a slave. John Henry.
He was just a railroad track builder guy who was really, really good.
Thought he's a free slave.
Yeah, so he was like a reformed slave. He's like, relax.
The original folklore about John Henry, who worked on the railroad track, was really good at laying down the railroad, and I don't know how to say it's not weird. He could do railroad very well. All of a sudden, they was like, John Henry the best. The white man was like, oh no, we ain't about to let this Negro be better than us. It's also
This message was sponsored by Doja
They
Cat.
had a machine that can do all this better than John Henry, like rail or hammers the side of a mountain and shit. Beat the machine and then he died.
I was gonna say, didn't he die? See, that's y'all missed the disconnect because at the end of this, I'm just playing.
You missed it.
The system that they place into us to, perpetuate our violence is the machine, and the mountain that we have to get through is probably the bushes in his front yard, symbolic of a mountain.
Don't worry about
Think about this. Think about this. He was a free slave that worked until he died. What do slaves do? Work until they die. He was never free.
So I was John Henry for character presentation in second grade. Discovery. Is it because I was the only black student in the class?
Ouch.
So I was like, damn, I'm excited about Henry movie. I was like, damn, we about to. Okay, I saw Terry Crews. Like, I bet. I did not know it was a modern day. And so I saw Ludacris. I was like, what the fuck? So I can only think of like the old Romeo and Juliet and then the Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet. I think about. I was like, what are they
Romeo
doing?
plus Juliet.
Yeah.
Certain people have a look like they couldn't be in a historical film. Like I knew it was gonna be a modern day telling because I can't look at Terry. Like if Terry Crews in 12 Years a Slave, I'm like, no.
You could have killed everybody.
Back then, they would have
definitely
killed Terry Crews for being that size, just in
I can
case.
see it.
Way back
Then
then.
again.
I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is going.
Know where this is going.
When that nigga took off the sleeves of the shirt, I knew what was what. Yeah.
He probably would have been in the house,
Core, come on.
I could see him being like Top Gun Mandingo fighter,
Too soon?
like the big boss Mandingo fighter who's incredibly institutionalized and has really, really bad Stockholm syndrome, and he got to be the villain.
He comes around at the end.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah,
he don't come around at the end.
Smashes his master's head in on a big Django exit type scene. I can definitely see it.
I'm saying.
Y'all know Terry Crews scared of white people.
Come
Man,
on,
couldn't even defend Gabrielle Union.
Okay.
He couldn't even defend Gabrielle Union, man. We ain't finna stand like Terry Crews.
He tiptoeing around some subjects.
So,
This is a movie podcast. Be
He
careful.
would have been.
man.
You right. He would have been in the house though. That's all I'm saying.
He would have been dead. They were not gonna let him be that size and be like, "Yo, what if he starts thinking for himself? We got to get rid of this one just to be safe." What if he's like, you know what? I don't like this.
But they probably would have because, like, you remember in that one scene of Game of Thrones when what's that boy's name? He ended up being renamed Reek.
Oh, Theon.
Theon.
Yeah,
when they
Theon.
had Theon, he
Theon.
warped his fucking mind to make him feel and make that slave master relationship like just a part of
What
his
did they
character.
do to him, though, Rashad?
Man.
What did they do?
And I'll tell you what it
did
would not go well on the box offices if Terry Crews had he ended up going the Theon way, but
We want 3 minutes.
They demasculated him. They demasculated him. Think
What
about it,
about
Rashad. What happened in Hollywood, Rashad?
Get
Anyway,
back on track for Delon start hitting us.
So
like Michael Jordan.
What were our initial thoughts going into the movie when you saw it on Twitter, all that kind of jazz?
So I saw a trailer for this. Like, this has had some hype, not some hype. It's been like it's had some talk around it for maybe like a year. Like I saw something about it sometime last year, and I was like, okay, Terry Crews in a movie. When I first just started seeing like when it might have just used John Henry as like a namesake or whatever, and I was like, I mean, this could be just a movie to exist. But then Ludacris popped up with the thing on his face, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't gonna make any sense."
For no fucking purpose.
Yeah.
No fucking purpose. Okay.
At all.
It would have made more sense if Ludacris at least bit a nigga somewhere through that fucking movie, but
or like got hit and then like broke somebody's hand, or like it was just there.
I thought it was gonna be like a alternate history type movie. You know how this like everything's just like out of whack.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be like a Compton Western type. They kept having Western music playing, but they ain't have like no.
The whole fucking movie they had Western music playing, and was no theme of a Western cowboy heroic type
at all.
I looked up why they wanted to give it that Western feel, and the more I read it, the more I'm like, no, a white person came up with this. Okay, so he is supposed to be like a Western. I don't want to call it an escort mission type, but he is supposed to be kind of like the cowboy who used to be in some stuff that doesn't do cowboy stuff anymore.
Protect these people.
Yeah, the actual gangs are supposed to be like old school gangs or whatever. And so it wanted to have a modern day Western feel with the Crips or whatever being like the cops and robbers type gangs from back then. And I'm like,
in the movie.
I know not just the gang that Ludacris.
It was just one gang.
The black people
with no unification.
Yeah. So I get.
It was one gang being shook up by a nigga who terrified of guns. How the fuck? Who the fuck?
All right.
Somebody come shoot this nigga.
Let's get into it. Who wants to give start giving the synopsis for the movie?
I'll do it. Damn it. So at the very start of the movie, I'm gonna tell you what. So to answer your question from 2 seconds ago, Delon, one of when I heard about the movie, I heard about it from y'all, and I was thinking, okay, they finna just get ready to go ahead and do like a remake of the old John Henry, but with Ludacris having that metal shit on his face. I thought he was gonna be like a cyborg character, and gonna be the railroad making machine and shit like that. It was gonna be real good CGI. John Henry, obviously Terry Crews gonna be I
honestly think that would have worked. To be honest,
and that would have been a way better. That would have been way better. I'm write that down. Hey, Terry Crews, if you watching this shit, hit me up. Hey, hit me. Anyways, but that's what I thought. And then I got this movie, and then apparently it's like modern day play. It's not even a modern day play on. Synopsis. At the very start of the movie, we get introduced to these drug dealing, sex trafficking characters who not really characters, they don't really matter. We all sit in a room where we see 3 of the sex trafficked women on the couch, and that's just that.
I hate that scene.
Of Mexican orientation, and she is twitching. She is absolutely like flustered. She's like looking around, nervous as hell, trying to figure out exactly what finger to go on, constantly looking out the window.
Where do I go?
Who the fuck would let their look out of the window or even be in a space in freedom? Because
we're sitting right by the window.
2 steps away from the door.
One of them could ran out the door.
That's how I do it.
At any point in time, one of them could
none of them pimps fast
dive
enough to catch
towards the window, and that would have been it.
None of them pimps was fast enough to catch them.
I hate that entire scene. That entire scene,
or crippled,
is just.
It was so long. It was so long.
And they died. So we get introduced to all these like really really bad drug dealer gang type black guys, and at the end of the day, there's one of the on the couch, and they are like twitching.
You gotta come up with another word.
I know.
Trafficked women, trafficking victims.
The sex trafficking victims
were shot on the couch. They didn't choose that life. The life.
You're right. That's me. I ain't even gonna stunt. They not by choice. They by force. All right.
Yeah.
Y'all
by force is crazy, but it happens. But
It is
to
so
say it that way
Jordan,
is
bleep all
crazy.
this out. Change this back.
This is so
Everybody else shut the fuck up right now, because I'm gonna go ahead and give him the audio clue so he can replace my damn voice. Sex trafficking victim.
Give me 10
That
seconds.
clip, put it over every single time I've
God, oh
Oh my god.
what happened in the TV show?
Okay. One of the sex trafficking victims.
Okay, but don't do it like that. Stop doing it like that.
Ended up calling
It's like you're doing this, though. Victim.
I'm not.
You gotta relax. You gotta relax. I'm sorry.
I'm wait.
Okay.
Are y'all done?
Yes. That's
All
right.
right. One of the sex trafficking victims ordered a hit on all of these people around, and all the black people in the room die. Yeah, all the black people in the room die. We come to find out that this girl ends up hoarding a hit by her Mexican brother and her Mexican cousin to come and rescue her out of that room. All right, fine. That ends up going left because apparently one nigga on the ground who had got shot in the fucking chest picked up the gun and shot her brother. All right, shoots her brother. He falls on the ground and he's presumed dead. Her cousin and her both run out of that house. They split up. She goes into a yard of an undisclosed black man, and there's that on that. I'm obviously skipping the Talby scene because that didn't make no sense. I'm gonna just go ahead and put that right here, right now.
We gotta acknowledge
What scene?
We have to acknowledge it though.
Okay. So prior to all this, we end up understanding that this yard belongs to the black man, John Henry, aka Terry Crews. At the very beginning prequel of the movie, we see John Henry building a dog house for his dog Talby. Dog Talby, who has no chain, who has no leash, who looks like a fucking inside dog, who and is like, he's furry and fluffy and shit like that. He's definitely an inside dog now that I really think about it. Runs out to the middle of the fucking street.
Yeah.
Gets hit by an Escalade.
Hey, that hurt.
Gets hit
I
by
should
an
warn you
Escalade
about that one, Rashawn.
Now I'm telling you what. And he goes,
Yeah, I thought about when I watched. I was like, should I warn Rashad about this? But I was like, but I don't know because I remember you said that we watched The Lobster. I was like, I think I should,
He's not a fan
coming to you as a man to man, Rashad. I need to tell you.
But here's the thing. None of that ended up being emotionally heavy to me. Reason why was because immediately after hitting the dog, John Henry looks up, he goes out to the street, figures out what's going on. His dog is laying dead right behind the truck, right? Nigga gets out of the truck, looks at the back of his truck to say, hey, my nigga, you gonna fix this shit. First and foremost, it's like a maybe 20-pound dog. Maybe 20 pounds, maybe 15.
Yeah.
This like a fucking 20.
It's like
that's
12.
I'm gonna tell you what, that's really, really highball, and like that's a 20-pound dog. It's probably like a smooth 15 pounds because fucking Marshall is like 12.
My dog is about that size, and he's
like
he looks a little bit bigger. My dog's about 20. He's
but just with more fur. All right, cool. He looks at the back of this truck, sees apparently a bloody stain, no dent, no nothing. Tells John Henry, hey, you gonna have to fix this shit. And that's just gonna be that on that. John's silent. Obviously, he's mourning the death of his dog and good friend Talby. And he picks up his dog, looks at the nigga, stands up, and we see like the height difference because motherfucking Terry Crews like maybe 7 feet tall compared to this nigga.
Something like that.
Nigga pulls out a whole gun, looks at John, tells him, oh, now you hear me. Oh, now you see me now that I got a gun. I thought we finna get ready to go into a real deep think piece about, black men and having guns, and now we only be seen when we got guns. No, this nigga said, all right, now you see me. That was it. That's all they talked about. John turned away from him, walked back into his house, and that's the last we just see of the whole scene. That nigga ends up getting back into I'm gonna call him that dreadhead nigga. That dreadhead nigga ends up getting back into his truck and just like drives away. If you hit a dog from the front of your car, why the stain at the back?
I want to add this. He did the cardinal sin of movies. There's two. There's this. He didn't do that one. He didn't do that one. He did this. He did.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that's how I knew this wasn't about to be a serious movie. When he said, "Now you hear me, huh?" I was like,
Absolutely.
But yeah.
All right, cool. So we come back to the scene of where what's her name? Roberta.
Berta.
Berta jumps through some grass to hide under John Henry's porch. All right, cop pulls up and tells, and you know, he knocks on John Henry's door. Cop real peaceful and everything of that nature. Cop tells John Henry, hey, there's shit happening, like, you know, 2 blocks over. We looking around for, you know, a Mexican girl. First of all, how the cop even know who the fuck this girl is, or like, you know, of these kids' orientation and shit like that. Tells John, hey, let me. I'd like to come in and just like, you know, search around and stuff like that. John tells cop, no, I ain't seen no kids. I've been in my house all day, in a very morbid voice, because you know he's probably still grieving the death of his dog. All right, cool. The cop turns into this big fucking thing about, hey,
are you sure?
I just want to come in and take a look. I ain't seen no kids. I ain't asked you that. I just wanted to come in and take a look. I ain't seen no kids. And you know, this is the depth of the dialogue we get. We don't get to go into no think pieces. We don't get to go into like, you know, nothing. Just they finna get ready to have a scrap. All right, cool. Out of nowhere, cop gets to like a radio saying, hey, 24 something a block away or something like that. All right, cool. Cop leaves. John waits till cop leaves, looks down at a hole in his porch, and asks this girl, "Are you?" Because apparently he knew that she was there the whole time. How? I have no fucking clue. That girl wasn't making no fucking noise
at all. He either just found her by going outside, licking a hole in the ground, or knew she was down there, let her sleep under his house. Cold, probably scared and hungry the entire night. And then the whole rest of the movie, he's a good guy. Like, that's kind of shady.
What the fuck?
But also,
not only that, right? So not only did he look down, because the hole wasn't directly under him. He had to like walk and then look down. So like we apparently get like, you know, introduced this idea that John is very aware of the shit that's happening in his yard. But wait. There's a very particular scene where he ain't, and you know.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what I was about to bring up. How you see somebody that you can't see, but you see somebody directly in front of you with something that could potentially harm you. But you don't see. Hold
it. All right, cool. He invites her to the house, gives her a sandwich. We get introduced to John, his father, who he lives with, named BJ Henry. And you know, Berta's eating a mustard sandwich. The sandwich had no meat on it. Don't call me out on this. I looked at it. I was really upset about the fact that this sandwich didn't have no meat on it. But don't have no meat on it. It's just
maybe she was a vegan. Maybe she was a vegan.
Man, look.
You couldn't tell. You couldn't speak Spanish.
Exactly.
I guess that one.
Okay,
common courtesy for y'all niggas.
Did y'all get any subtitles?
Give a bread with mustard on it.
I use subtitles in Spanish. They do not provide Spanish subtitles.
Because she was speaking mad Spanish, and I had no clue what was going on.
I thought it was that's not racist. I couldn't understand shit, and then they let us not understand shit, which was cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
It was cool.
But at the same time, when it's 90% of her dialogue is not.
That's the bullshit.
Delon said he hates when movies aren't in English. That's tough.
No. That's not what I said.
I know someone who was upset that Parasite won movie.
Listen, Parasite will provide you with subtitles.
See, look,
that's
kind of shaky coming out of you. Continue, Rashad.
Okay.
Wait. Before go further.
Berta, BJ, and John down the table. John's turn. Huh?
Before we go further, it is important to note at the very beginning of the movie, we did get a flashback of John Henry. It's like when he's with his dad in the car and he's a kid. His dad's like, you know why I named you John Henry? You will be strong. And then we cut to a scene where John Henry is apparently like a gangbanger in his teenage years. Real life stuff. We don't have any detail about anything that happens. We just know we're supposed to assume that he's a reformed gang member. And now he's in a quiet life, small house with his father. And I will also say this. This was a shitty movie. I really loved his dad's character. That nigga was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
No, it wasn't.
I didn't like his dad character. I'll be honest.
Y'all didn't like BJ.
No, there's not really much about this movie I liked.
The first scene was awful with the whole, you don't get what she's saying? Ha, I can speak Spanish because I used to fuck some Puerto Rican hoes. But everything else after that, I love that nigga in that movie.
So, like, even then, right then, I get introduced to the fact that, BJ apparently had a really, really wild past and this, that, and the third. And we also get introduced to the fact that BJ's in a wheelchair. I'm thinking that BJ got shot somewhere, gangbanging, dealing with some shit like that. Cool.
Nope.
Hold that. I ain't even gonna tell y'all what's gonna get to happen. I'm gonna let y'all guess. So Jordan, cut this and then do the whole Jeopardy thing. So before Rashad gets to what happens to BJ, what happened? And he A, fuck some Puerto Rican hoes. B, C, get cancer. Or D,
what cancer?
Your responses now. And then
what
he
cancer?
goes up to her and he tells her, "Hey, I can speak Spanish. I know what you're saying in this, that, and third." Just like Delon said, 90% of her 90% of her dialogue is in Spanish, and then they go back and forth speaking Spanish and no subtitles at no point in this movie. So
at all,
like she's speaking a lot in this movie, and I felt like it was at one point in time where we should have got subtitles. All right, we get introduced to how Berta is, where she come from, the fact that she was stolen from her brother and her cousin by these gangbanging niggas, and then gangbanging her brother and cousin somehow magically found her location, and they ended up rolling up on the niggas. 2 niggas wiped out a whole room with like 6 black people.
Out the window.
I mean, I know the one guy was a Marine, but the brother was just like a regular 18-year-old kid, so that really confused me. Yeah, I was there. The cousin, the half brother was.
Yeah, that was half brother, not a cousin. That was half brother.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, to me, like that's what got to me. That was the most interesting part of the whole movie, like that whole family dynamic, and we got a 5-minute clip of all of that, and that was it.
And then we find out.
I was saying, the rest of the movie is just Terry Crews mumbling and mumbling about nothing.
Look,
I'm not really sure.
Part of this movie.
I was gonna say the thing. Oh, go ahead, Dawn.
No, I don't have much. We'll go.
I was gonna say, like, the weird thing about this movie is, like, I guess I would say this for the end, but I'll say it now. Like, it's bad, but in my mind, it's not offensively bad. You know, the movies that are bad that think that they're smarter than they are, and they really, really, like you said, they're no think piece. Like, it doesn't really, really try to push itself like it's Citizen Kane or The Dark Knight. Like, it's just bad because it's bad, but like, it wasn't offensively bad. I think Terry Crews is fine because he didn't have to do anything but speak in a low voice and look down, and then drag himself across the front yard.
It's a bag.
Yeah, I was like he was fine, and the movie was never like over the top bad. But like all the little stuff that we're talking about, like, no subtitles, and then somebody having a dynamic worth exploring, and they just kind of mention it once, and then it's just like, but anyways, what about Ludacris in his face? Like, I'm just like,
I got a lot of those complaints, but we can get there.
Okay. But next scene we end up introduced to the fact that apparently Berta's on her period.
Oh my god.
That's why I started taking notes right here.
I want y'all to understand like the amount of confusion that I had, because the fact of the matter is these niggas was selling Berta while she was on her period, like, and didn't give her no type of pads to deal with period thing. All right, cool. I just can't imagine a marketable sex trafficking thing. I just don't.
Technically,
I think that's something they probably don't care about. I guess.
I don't think they knew. Because I think she was like the last girl they got, and that's why the dude took in the back was like, "Hey, go on test out to make sure she good to go." So I'm guessing like this was like 2 hours after she got kidnapped. Like it couldn't have been that long.
There were
like
3
she seemed
women.
like it's like the way she was on the couch, like she had just got there.
There were 3 women in that room. They could have smelled, told, or even like seen some type of blood coming from her.
I mean, if you're a kidnapping victim, you probably worry about yourself. You probably got more important stuff on your mind than this random chick sitting next to you. It's about to be sold off.
Let's move
on.
Let's move on.
Trying to humanize the assailant. I feel like that's the thing.
Right,
I don't think they would care.
I'm bugging right now because I'm trying to humanize niggas who selling women.
Teenagers, yeah, basically.
You're right.
Let's move into the scene where this man goes. Let's call it CVS. So this man goes
to CVS. Yeah. Were you gonna get ready to give the synopsis, or did you want me to?
Let me get a synopsis.
I kind of like this part.
So this man goes and he's like, they're showing like staring. This thing's just like trying to decide which pad, which tampon he wants to buy for birth. Now he's confused. He's looking at this one, different brands. Lady comes up from behind and like, "Hey, may I help you?" He's like, "Yeah, I was looking for some." Is that John Henry? Is this woman? She's like, "John Henry, I ain't seen you since high school. Who would have thought? Blah, 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 blah. You out here looking like you looking." And he's like, "You looking too?" She's like, "No, I love every single pound I got, baby. Now don't let me. Hey, I love you." So then they get. I was like, "Oh damn! I wonder what difference this is gonna have." So then they start doing mild flirting, right? Mild flirting in the, "Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. You got any kids?" Like, "No, I don't got no kids." She's like, "Oh, there ain't nothing to be ashamed of." So she's obviously coming on to him. So here's where it gets me. He's like, "All right, I don't know which ones to get." And then she says, "Well, if it was me, if she's anything like me, I would do this one."
Oh yeah.
Say, "I would get this one for mine." I was like, "Oh," and then gotta give him a quick eye look, that little, and he's like, "Oh, that's my 80s jam," and they start dancing in the CVS, and that's the scene.
How's that? Because in that scene, they implied that they used to date because they said that we went to prom and we danced to the song. And
together.
My thing is, if one, this scene don't make sense because one, you used to date this man but did not know he stayed down the fucking block. For 30 years, y'all went to prom together. And I don't know about y'all when y'all went to prom, but I remember every person I went to prom with. I don't even know exactly what they had right now. Now, you went to prom with John Henry. Y'all dated, like real deal dated, and y'all danced. Y'all had a real significant moment to a very special song and shit like that. That nigga stay around the corner.
And that's obviously the closest convenience store too. So it's not like he goes downtown to go get this shit. If that nigga want to bag it
like 5 blocks over.
You ain't seen this man in like 20, 30 years?
I'm gonna say this. I was really confused at this, and you know, I thought the thing was kind of funny. I was kind of confused because I thought she was saying, I thought he went to jail or something. Because they keep saying, "Oh, I'm with these guns, I'm smashing people's heads in on camera." I'm thinking he went to jail and came home and was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna lay low." That's what I thought. But you ain't even saying nothing about jail, so I'm guessing he just moved in with his dad and just never went outside for 20 years. Like.
Yeah. He would have to go outside if, he, swole as he is.
Right.
Two, I know he went to the grocery store or some shit. Like, he didn't
become a hermit
after, the whole arc of him doing, wild shit. He just, like, he just, like, his dad in the wheelchair.
I know it was just funny, but it was just funny. His dad couldn't go. It was just a funny hit.
His dad can't go.
He had to at least go outside at some point in time, and it just don't make sense to me that this nigga didn't run into you or y'all didn't link up after any of that shit when, like, in 20 years. What?
And also, was that her in the Indian?
Yes, but we're not gonna talk about it yet. Yes, and
So,
we're not going to talk about it yet.
Let me
We're not
go
going to
through it
talk
a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit of. I'm gonna do a quick run, and y'all tell me when y'all want to stop.
Go ahead.
After that scene, we got John. He comes back home, gives a tampon, whatever. This one he shows her the drawings. He's like, "Yeah, I started drawing back in the day when I was a kid. This is still kind of how I draw." And then he's like, "I never could draw a dog though, and it was a drawing that taught me that was kind of fucked up." But my thing was, all those drawings were fucked up. Not a single one. Grown man. That's a grown man.
You can't draw a lot of things.
So we go on. It's the next day. The next morning, it's knock on the door. John's like, "Oh, we're at the door," and we don't see nothing. Country western scene of him opening the door, and then boom, a badge comes through, and I guess that's his Marine patch. I don't know if it's patch or whatever, but it's the brother. It's the brother.
No, that's the badge from the brotherhood that this nigga was apparently part of. Because that badge, it didn't have any type of Marine significance. It was like a gang.
Which only makes sense. It was a 2-person mission of him and his brothers, and that's why I was really like instead of you just going straight to save your sister from being kidnapped, you went to the crib. You got a badge. You made a badge. This is our badge that we wearing together. If we get caught by the police, they're gonna have a badge to recognize it too. Like none of that made sense.
So this is what it looks like. Rashad, turn this way. Okay, you stay right there, just like that. So this is what the scene looked like. John Henry opens the door, and then we just see
Boom.
with country western music going in the background. Like, what the hell is this scene? But anywho, brother, he comes in, tells the full story of what just happened, blah, blah, blah. He said the Berta and her brother came from Honduras. They came here illegally. They found him because the mom died. Through gang violence in Honduras. Found him. He's like, I don't know this dude. He's going to take them to a shelter. As he was walking with them to the shelter, dude from the beginning of the movie hits the dog, snatches Berta up. Boom, puts in the car, drives away. So that's what started the whole beginning of the movie where Berta was in the house. Everybody got shot. Go on, Rashad.
I really want you to pause the scene because I want to talk about that snatching scene and like how it was. These niggas was the gang niggas. The dude at the beginning of the scene, the dreadhead nigga, the one we talked about. He was just chilling in the car. It wasn't shit on his mind. He probably was just like thinking about what he finna get ready to go eat that night. All right, cool. He looks at he looks at his cousin as he walks past him. Then he looks at his brother. Then he looks at Berta. Notice this orientation because I feel like in like any society, especially motherfucking Compton, you would walk with the woman close to, if not in front of you.
That's what I was thinking about. Like, what she was legit like 7 feet behind them.
This was nighttime Compton, nighttime alleyway badass Compton, and she was legit like Chris said, 7 feet behind the cousin who's the only nigga in the group that got a gun at this point. All right, cool. Dreadhead nigga, you know what? Huh, she kind of cute. Let me get the fuck out.
It's the girl from Empire.
Get up and then just throw her in the car. And then all of a sudden, you know, her brother and her cousin got some kind of concern about the fact that she got snatched and shit like that. And even though her cousin just said that I'm just finna go take her off, I don't really give a fuck about what happened to her.
So I think that's the thing. I think that's why they were far away, because he's like, you're not my responsibility. I'm just doing it because we have to. Because they did say that they sent him mail and he just ignored the mail for however long.
Right.
So I do see like he's not walking close with it. But what I will say is, how the hell are you, assailant, is going to see the woman walking with 2 men and be like, that's the one?
That's the one we get.
That's the one you choose on the street?
Like, not the chick that's walking right behind him by herself.
At least.
I'm not kidnapper 101. That's not
I'm just throwing some ideas out there. I'm just brainstorming here. I don't know how they work.
I'm an expert in choosing battles, and that wasn't a battle.
Correct.
Okay.
I was like,
so anyway, we get back to the living room where he's telling the story. So apparently, Berta's mad at the brother because he left the younger brother behind. So we don't know what happened to him. We saw he got shot. We don't know if he's alive, captured, whatever. She's like, we got to find the bro. And he's like, But John's like, hey, you got a gun on you? And then he's like, yeah, I got a gun. John said, give me the gun. She said, it's mine. I don't want to give you the gun. John takes the gun, wraps it up in a napkin. grabs it like this, and then takes it to his bedroom and puts it in a drawer. Because John doesn't like guns. I wonder why. We don't know. He's terrified of them. So, moving forward, Rashad. What did you say, Chris?
I was gonna say that. I don't know if that's supposed to do the reveal what happens to Ludacris' face. We'll get to it, but that was the most like choreographed. Like you said, like it was trying to make it seem like, oh, why is he afraid of guns? Ooh, what is it? Literally, from the first second that you see Ludacris and you get an idea about John's past, it's the most telegraphed thing where you're like, oh, I know exactly what happened to his face. It's not subtle at all. In the movie, that's okay. It wasn't offensively bad, but I think the movie thought that it was being smarter with hiding that than it actually was.
And here's my biggest complaint about the movie. Every single scene lasted so long. Way longer than it needed to. So
that movie was 40 minutes.
We looked at John, the gun, the hand, the napkin, John, the gun, the hand, the napkin, the slow walk to the bedroom. We listened to 2 whole songs, that whole thing. And y'all noticed that one scene where it transitioned, it played an entire song that we had to listen to.
Yeah.
Whole song. That was a music video.
Every street sign in Compton. It was like, yeah, we're shooting this on location. Yes, we are. We are in Compton.
And I appreciated the Nipsey Hussle shout out, and I appreciate the fact that they wanted to put his whole song in the movie. But it's a way to do that without making it look like you are literally doing this for that one reason.
This is filler.
Like we know that you're playing this song for Nipsey Hussle so you can try to pay your respects and things of that nature, but you just made it seem awkward in the production.
Not in this movie. This is a disrespect.
It was just a lot of shit it was just a lot of useless shit that they were breaking the camera to let you know, hey, this is Compton. Hey, you remember this is Compton? Hey, you remember that is Compton? Hey, that sign, guess what that said? Compton.
I know the layout of Compton because of this movie.
Oh God!
I could drive down. Hey,
so drop me off anywhere in Compton, take a blindfold off. I know where I'm at. Now 30 seconds right there. If I hang 2 lefts, I'll be right by the Citgo. What do you mean? I'm safe out here. I know him. I think I'm safe.
I'm a local. So then, basically, we have a scene with John and the brother. They're fixing the car. Grown man stuff. It kind of felt like the bad time of use of the daughter's boyfriend or whatever, but it is what it is.
Yeah. He had that nigga come outside and tell him, hey, you know something about cars? He told that nigga to come outside just so he can turn the key. That nigga didn't touch the engine once, and he
gotta run it.
He did this shit twice. He asked him to come help me fix his car twice, but that nigga to come outside and just be there just to turn the key. John knew how to fix the car. He just needed somebody to be out there to turn the key. Like, what the fuck?
So then he's like, so John talks to him. He's like, how are y'all in the situation? Y'all know who's doing it? He's like, I don't know. There's some drug dealer named Hell who got a metal jaw. And John's like, I think I might know who that is. So then the next scene, I believe it's the one where John is driving to his grandma's or something, trying to figure out where his cousin is or whatever.
Yeah.
Drives and then waits in the garage.
All night.
No. He gets there and then he asks his grandma, "Hey, where's Hell?" She tells him, first and foremost, I don't know any grandma that would ever call their grandson Hell. That would never happen in Black history, fucking ever. But the fact of the matter is, she calls him Hell, and she knows exactly what he is, who he is, what he's up to, and this, that, and the third. She tells John, quote, "I don't know where he is. He don't tell me when he's coming or when he's going." And then she says, I can tell him you came by for him whenever he comes back. And he says the words, "I'm gonna wait." That nigga waits a whole day in one chair in the garage, waiting for Helen to pull up. Waiting for Hell to pull up. Go ahead, Lauren.
That was the longest black and mild I've ever seen in my life. God damn it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She lasted all day.
Nigga smoked the black and that shit refilled itself.
Regenerative black.
He's sitting at the entryway of the garage. A car pulls up. We see headlights. Headlights on John.
No dialogue.
silence. It's like a backpack just flies at his legs.
You know how to burn them.
So we want to bring us the girl or whatever he says, whatever the fuck he says. 24 hours. So he drives off. So John pulls back up at the crib. BJ is teaching Berta how to use a gun, how to point a gun. He's like, no. This ain't no gangster movie. Gotta turn him like that. So then John walks in, everybody playing with the gun. He's all silent. He goes back to the room, and Berta drew a picture of John's dog. God bless Berta. God bless Berta. Because John just couldn't get it right. So he's very emotional. Then we get a very clear picture of the picture. We get a very clear picture of the picture. So then the next scene, John goes outside.
I'm so sorry. And this really struck a nerve to me because I have a very, very certain affiliation with dogs. How the fuck did Berta know what Tobby looked like?
Ain't never seen that dog in her life. That dog
has never ever seen that dog ever.
Think about that.
I thought about it.
I'm guessing she saw like the horrible picture, and it's just like, I'm guessing it looks like this.
No, because that nigga said she got it exactly right up until his fur. And all she had seen up until that point is that very shitty picture of what John do. Fuck no. That did not make sense. There was no point in telling her that. All right, go ahead.
So
okay, and also in the scene when he went to the garage, was he like back doing the stuff he vowed not to do? Because they was like, hey, make sure you burn the bodies or we gonna burn you. Because I could have swore that's what the dude told him. So it's like he went and did one last job to give them money.
I think that what happened in that scene, and again, this is the movie's fault for not explaining this very accurately, so everybody can understand exactly what happened. I think that either Helen or Hell's henchman pulled up and told John, "Hey, you got 24 hours to get these kids out of town. Here's some money to give them so that they can leave safely, and do all this and do all that." All right, cool. John takes the money, goes back to the house, tells him, "Hey, you got 24 hours to
get out of here."
That's it. And
why?
But why what?
Why did Hell, who just lost money in henchmen and whole scene, provide John with
he did lose a couple
$50,000? Because you don't need $50,000 to relocate. You don't need that. Why would he provide these people with $50,000 so they can?
Well, the reason why was possibly because one, they could fuck up the entire operation by going to the police. They could. Say that, hey, this nigga running six operations out of this house with these people and all of this. So, in a very, very peaceful, resolutionary type of way, hey, you get these kids this money, they get the fuck out of my hair. They leave all this shit alone. And that under the premise of regular drug dealers and shit like that. All right, that's valid. All right, cool. Explain what happens next, DeLon.
So then John goes out to the car and says, "Hey, Dad, Hell say you got 24 hours to get out of town." He's like, "How'd you get this money?" John's like, "Don't worry about it. Just get out of town."
Just go.
Like, "How'd you get this money?" "Don't worry about it." "What are you on?" And John's like, "Listen, just get out of town." So he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take the money and get out of town." Then he says, I don't know what he says. Fuck, he's gonna get out of town basically.
Yeah.
But then we go to dinner. That's where it all goes down. At dinner, John makes this good old meal. Dad said, "Why can't you make me a meal like this?" He said, "You'll never draw my dog." They're all having a nice family moment. And then Bird is like, "Hey, we can't get out of town until we save the little bro." And then the older bro's like, "Hey, that nigga dead." Bird gets up, storms off to the bathroom. She's in there, wash her face, hears the gate creak. She's like, "Oh." She don't say nothing though. She don't say nothing.
No.
So then she's kind of booing in the bathroom, just comes back out. And then we hear some noises outside. So BJ, the dad, has the gun. The older bro said, "Hey, I'm about to get my gun from John's room." So as soon as Buddy goes in there, opens the door, boom, older brother gets shot in the forehead. I'm keeping a stack. I didn't expect that.
Same.
They got me. I didn't know that they was gonna die.
I kind of did. He was asked too many questions.
Man. I think it was
it didn't really make sense for him to live because his whole thing was These are my half siblings. I hated my dad. Why'd I take care of them? I'm gonna ship them off, and I'm selling pills, and I'm a Marine. I'm like, okay, your whole life is messed up. There's no redemption arc anymore.
But I thought there was gonna be a redemption arc. I thought I was gonna see him die.
Nah, he's not.
No,
he just got killed. He just got
He
killed
opened the door,
like
right to the forehead.
instantly.
Yep.
And also, you take anybody gun in a movie where it's primarily shooting. He a Marine. He ain't John Wick. Also, why would you answer someone else's door? Why would you answer someone else's door without being like, "Hey, y'all invited somebody? Hey, y'all come with it." I thought it was just you and your dad. He was like, "Oh,
into John's room.
let me just open."
Yeah, that was John's room. They shot him through the window because everyone's a window blind.
No, they didn't. That nigga came in through the window in John's room and shot that nigga as soon as he opened the door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So then dude comes out, and then BJ shoots him like twice. But then we turn back to BJ. BJ standing the fuck up.
It's a miracle.
Who the hell? He said, John said, "Since when could you stand?" He said, "Adrenaline's a hell of a drug."
Adrenaline.
So and
I think we all got the same thought.
And I'm gonna go ahead and answer the question because I know Jordan did the thing. But prior to this, BJ came out with the confession on how life isn't fair. Life isn't fair because he was apparently slinging premium BJ dick all around town. Then boom,
Wasn't expecting all that, but okay.
That nigga said my dick was legendary, son. I was slinging dick all around town, and then all of a sudden, cancer.
He's a
stroke, and paralyzed me from the waist down, and bottom half useless now. And I'll tell you what, they could have made that a lot better. They could have did it a lot better.
So
he could have got shot. He could.
That nigga was standing up tall as hell. He said, "How your leg working?" Adrenaline's a hell of a drug. No, sir. You haven't been standing
in 20 years.
You need physical therapy. You have muscle degeneration. You are not able to stand right now.
That nigga's bones would have deteriorated and like turned into fucking dust right then and there.
Like,
I'm gonna keep it real with you. He would have been better off just saying, "I'm BJ Henry. We special," and it just did it. That would have made more sense. I'm a Henry, son. And then, just did what he did. Like, that would have made a lot more sense.
Huge fact.
I mean, the actual John Henry story don't make sense.
A stroke isn't a mental thing. A stroke isn't like a muscle cramp. You cannot be like, "Oh, stroke's over." You can't do that. So then we're like, "Damn, how do we get out of the situation?" Cause I'll give it a buck. It sounded like they was in the gym. Hey, they were sounding like people from all over the house. And then he's like, AC vent. And the B says, "How the fuck we gonna get through that? We can't fit." And he said, John Henry says, "Hey, Roberta can." He says, "Y'all get out of here." And then BJ stood back. People bust through the kitchen door. BJ was about to shoot him. Bloop, bloop. BJ
two times straight to the chest. Yeah, 2 times straight to the chest. BJ falls on the ground. I'm so sorry to be taking this over for you to love, but I really just gotta talk about this one. BJ falls to the ground, lays there, gets up, puts a table puts a table to block the kitchen where the assailant niggas is coming in, and he just behind the table telling everybody else just go. The table's behind him at this point. These niggas, cause I'm thinking, I ain't no nigga that's dumb enough to be like, "Oh, surprise, nigga."
Wait, before you start that,
hello.
Let me say this. Before he said, "Y'all go to the air vent," so they go to the room, snatch out the air vent so they can escape. Go on.
Okay, it goes to the room, snatch out the air vent so that they can escape, and all of a sudden, nigga shoots the back of the table with a shotgun. BT Dubs. Shotgun straight through BJ ass in the fucking heart. That's game. That's it. That's GG.
But Rashad, he's a Henry.
That is over for any mortal being ever. I have never heard
not
of
for Henry.
To the fucking chest. And that's they getting up.
BJ Henry, John Henry, Mark Henry.
Helen Henry. Anyway. Alright, that nigga takes a buckshot to the chest. BJ laying on the ground, but still cognizant. Hey, let me look through that hole in the table that they just assaulted my chest with, and shoot the fucking gas tank that's behind both of these assailant niggas. BJ, who has been a cripple, and you know he's also had a breathing tube this entire time. Because apparently he's on oxygen.
Yeah, they ain't really.
So BJ is like,
he's been shot 3 times at this point.
All in the chest.
All in the chest. BJ
There's
is
at
like
least 7 holes in him.
prior to this was pretty slim tonight. You know, BJ was finna get ready to croak already. So BJ, who has had a stroke, crippled, on breathing tubes, and shot 3 times, including a shotgun chest in the chest, stands up, has a memorable line.
He said,
I'm BJ Henry, and my dick was legendary. Why were these the last words, man? And he shoots the fucking oxygen tank and blows them 2 niggas like the smithereens and fucking kids.
who the fuck is gonna let you get a line off? He said, I'm BJ Henry, my dick was legendary. He said, I'm BJ Henry, and my dick was legendary.
Not only that, but right before time, it took him maybe like a smooth 20.
Imagine that's the last thing you hear before you die.
Every single imagine too fucking long.
Like imagine dying, that's the last thing you hear.
It took him about 20 seconds to get up already, because if I see
that was a 5-minute death scene.
One of 2 options here. If I see a nigga I just game in and shotgun shot through the chest get up from the shotgun shot, I'm thinking either A, this nigga's fucking Superman and I need to
2, I'm in Resident Evil.
2, or B, let me just tap him one more time with this.
One more headshot. Just
30 seconds roll by with BJ Henry standing up, getting a memorable line off, raising his gun, aiming it to hit that small ass oxygen tank in the back of the house and blowing up that house. And blowing up the front, just the kitchen. Here's the thing. Oxygen tanks, if you shoot an oxygen tank in a fucking house,
it is going everywhere.
That house done. That house is
Facts. At least the kitchen and the living room.
At least.
He shot an oxygen tank and only the washroom was destroyed. Which don't even make sense. Like, how did all of them die? And the explosion was this big. It was this big.
It was enough to kill BJ. It was enough to kill just 2 niggas because BJ just succumbed to his gunshot wounds.
Bruh.
Now, my thing about this.
If somebody shoot an oxygen tank, everybody
dead.
Gone. Berta gone, John gone, Luda gone, everybody gone. Maybe the neighbor dead. The neighbor might get hit with some shrapnel. Everybody gone,
get out of there. He might. He just might.
Here's what I hate about scenes like this. BJ said, "Y'all go, get out of here."
Go.
Dies, shoots, blows up the kitchen, blows up himself, whatever. John and Berta watched the whole thing 2 feet away.
Just standing there.
Just standing there. Back to the living room and kitchen to watch that shit happen. They did not leave. That nigga died for absolutely no reason.
Nothing.
That nigga told them, "Hey, go ahead.
Get out of here."
Didn't move an inch. They didn't move a fucking inch. And they watched him get buckshotted, stand up. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what the fuck John thinking in his mind right now? Is my dad a Superman? Like, is he a Superman? This nigga just stood up after 3 gunshots and 2 pistol shots and a shotgun shot. I can't get over this shotgun shell in his fucking chest. I just can't, because it just don't make sense for a nigga to catch a shotgun shell in the fucking chest and stand the fuck up and
I would have excused it all if they would have just left. If they got
exactly. Or at least got out of the house.
So then, everybody's disoriented. They're waking up. It was more like a flashbang than an explosion. So everybody wakes up. Berta is being held over here. John's being right there. So then who comes in? But Ludacris in a tank. Because apparently, early in the movie, he set a nigga on fire. Not entirely clear what he did with that tank.
I can tell you exactly what he did. Because he said it. He walks around with first and foremost, Ludacris walks around everywhere he is in the movie. We see him with an oxygen tank and a blowtorch. Why? Because his way of punishing niggas in his game is putting fire into their mouths and burning a hole where he is scarred. That's why niggas in the movies walking around with face masks, because he would put the blowtorch right here. And you know,
he wants them to feel what he felt,
where he has been shot at.
So basically, John Henry.
Shit.
So basically, John Henry pretty much shot him in the mouth. He was trying to take the gun. So I'm guessing that's what I know that's where the gun phobia come from. Also, I think that means Ludacris is kind of scared of guns too, because in the end he was like, "Oh, it's not because I'm scared of guns, because I don't need one. You got a blowtorch. You might as well just get a gun."
Exactly.
Like he could have just said, "Yeah, John, you're right. I'm scared of guns too. You shot me in the mouth."
We got Ludacris walks in the door with a blowtorch. John Henry on his knees and like, "Oh, I give up position." And then Berta being held by Henchman A and Henchman B. Henchman B is a woman. So then Ludacris is getting his shit off. You know the villain got to get his shit off. He's like, "I thought I had 24 hours. He's like, "Oh, everyone's allowed one mistake. Right, John?" Because when they were teenagers, John shot him in the jaw.
That was the worst scene. I hate that scene.
Man.
You don't know what it's like to not have power. I got power. You gonna have power too, John, because we cousins. Now take this gun. I don't want the gun. I don't want the gun.
John,
take the gun away from you. Like he's fumbling for no reason.
And right before that, we also get introduced to the fact on why the gangs hold John in such high regard is because he saved Helen's life. In a flashback, we see Helen tell John, "Hey, you're not gonna go to jail for what you just did last night because I went to the store and I grabbed the security tape." How you even get the security tape by then?
I don't know. How you rob a store twice in 2 days? That's my question.
A literal murder just happened.
Rob store, killed somebody, went to the crime scene. Police got to be there. You take all the evidence and dip again?
What nigga would be in their right mind and just like go back to a crime scene so that they can swipe the evidence at like fucking 15? This nigga's a 15-year-old, and in the video he's a Henry. A nigga pull
He's
up.
He's a Henry.
In the video, we get to see a nigga pull up on Helen on some real shiesty ass shit. John, who is apparently omniscient, as we talked about at the very beginning of the movie.
Facts.
He sees this nigga in the split-second timing and busts out the door, knocks him on the ground. On the ground. And turns around, sees the nigga twitching. John, big boot, steps on his head.
Crushes.
That nigga crunched. That was an audible crunch sound. That nigga whole lot of Johnson.
Hey, listen. The splatter scene from that movie reminds me so much of when I stepped on a ketchup packet as a kid. Like, he stepped on this nigga's head enough for all the blood, and like there was no resistance. This nigga's head was squishy as hell. He had no skull.
It was the Henry Foot Rashad.
I have no idea.
Apparently,
do that in movies.
And his family are a family of fucking superheroes. So, because that nigga, I'm gonna tell you what. No matter how strong you are, if you come up like this, you're not gonna crush his head like that. You just not gonna catch up.
I don't know why people think skull. I broke my brother's leg with my skull once. We were playing football and I tripped and fell and his leg hit the back of my head and it broke. So I don't know why people think you can just, like, even when people hit them with hammers in movies, I'm like, yeah, but that's not happening in one try. Like a skull.
Yeah, I changed
that's
Chris'
a solid
name
thing
in this Zoom call because if so, I'm gonna change his name to Chris Henry. No boy.
You're a Henry, and that's why.
We were playing football, and I tripped and fell in front of him, and he was still running.
Broke his leg nigga broke somebody else's leg by accident. I'm gonna tell you what.
He's a Henry Rashad.
So then we got they're sitting in the living room still. Ludacris getting the shit off. And then he's about to torture Berto with a blowtorch, and then Henchman B, the woman, shoots John Henry in the fucking head. John Henry.
Wait. Can you pause 1 second? This is legit my biggest complaint out of the entire movie. This is my biggest complaint. He gets shot in the head, so I'm like, oh, that gotta be it. He gotta be in the hospital.
I was like, wait,
bro, this man woke up with some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on his forehead and said, "Oh, I was shot. Oh my God!" No wound, no entry wound, no exit wound, no brain matter, no skull pieces, no nothing. Just barbecue sauce on the forehead.
And
that's it.
And here, audience, we really, really need y'all to understand the tomfoolery of the scene, because it wasn't like he got grazed, right? It wasn't like the top of his head. This was like
it was direct
as part of
direct.
His head.
Right. You know somebody's supposed to be dead when the villain says, "Why did you do that? I wasn't ready yet." Like he was looking like you weren't supposed to kill him.
So the girl henchman shoots John with a fucking BB gun in the fucking head, and he just at point blank distance, and he just passes out. All right, cool. Wakes up next morning because
kitchen normal. The table just flipped as it.
CBS came by and she was like, "Hey, what happened? Are you okay?" She picks up John, and apparently this nigga was just like all types of confused. Just because, I just shot last night. I ain't really tripping on it. John stands up with a gunshot wound in his head and tells her, "You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and fuck somebody up." All right. He goes to the bathroom. He shaves his beard. With a gunshot wound, the first thing that comes to mind is, you know what I'm going to
do? No. He had just got shot. He had watched his dad be murdered in front of him. There's three dead bodies in the room. His homie from 2 days ago helped fix his car got shot in the fucking forehead. He's like, first thing he does.
I remember the dialogue when he tells like, "You should go home. Like this is gonna get bad. Like, you should go home." She's like, "You should go to a hospital." Yeah. Like the dialogue they put in there, I was like, "What are we doing? What is this?"
She said, "You don't have to do this, John Henry. You don't have to get him back in high school. You say you weren't about that life, but look at you now. You're about that life."
She apparently knows this nigga. Like knows this nigga.
How does she find his house?
Like
Pause.
Wait. Years, and all of a sudden she becomes like,
you know how she found the house.
Ever. What?
You know she was. Rashad said earlier, like,
she was pulling up,
and not know that he lives 7 minutes down the road, but then conveniently now she's in his living room.
It's the same way that the brother found his house when he's like, "Hey, yeah, I just guessed first. This is the first one I guessed at."
What?
He's the only person in the neighborhood you can go to for help. Like he was just like, "I'm just here."
So
I got a side plot for y'all. So the girl was a stalker the whole time.
Hey, I'm gonna go up to every door, hold up this thing, and if they flinch, Berta's in there. That's his plan.
She's in there.
That was his plan. So, all right, we end up seeing John go shave. He apparently has like this very silent character realization of maybe I need to be doing some dangerous shit right now. All right, after he gets done shaving and kind of putting a towel to his gunshot wound and just kind of wiping the blood off of himself, he goes to his grandma's house again. His grandma tells him, "Hey,"
after he does a very dramatic grabbing of the hammer.
Facts. Gotta get the hammer now.
After he went to go talk to the grandma.
He's officially John Henry now.
Okay. Right before he goes to his grandma's house, he goes into his garage. Not only grabs the hammer that he hammered and made Talby's house with. This nigga grabs a mystery sledgehammer that was just apparently there the whole time that has no fucking emotional significance to the story
at all.
Understand exactly
because of course I'm John Henry, so I have to own a sledgehammer.
But it's the fact that throughout the entire movie he never mentioned a sledgehammer or nothing.
If he would have used that to kill the dude
at the store, the gas.
Hell yeah! Like if that would have been like sitting outside the store, like that would have been on display, and he just grabbed that to kill him.
then I get it.
Then it would have mattered. Yeah, it would have been like, it would have been more emotions. Like,
It
oh,
would have
man,
been like, ooh, he going back to the old ways.
Two, here's the thing. This nigga goes and shaves and wipes his bloody gunshot wound on his fucking skull. And this, in my mind, I'm thinking, wait, ain't there another gun in the house? This nigga grabs a sledgehammer when his options were a handgun and a sledgehammer.
It was a handgun in his room, the handgun that his dad was using, and the sledgehammer.
Hey, man.
Also,
He said he wanted to go with unreliable.
A lot of people died with guns in the house.
And none of these guns, he just decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and grab any of these. And
how do we forget? Let's rewind back to when the brother got shot.
Yeah.
And John and Berta ran in the room, and the dude was about to come in. A second dude was about to come in the window, and Berta's like, "Grab the gun! Grab the gun!" And then John's like,
He froze. In the words of Skip Bayless, the chosen one became the frozen one.
Oh,
everybody died because John didn't want to grab the gun. So
Facts.
go ahead, Rashad. We're at Grandma's house.
All right, cool. Grandma's house. After he grabs the sledgehammer, he apparently puts the sledgehammer down, like before he goes to the grandma's house. We didn't even see it. Why would he bring his sledgehammer house into his grandma's house?
Would you take a sledgehammer to your grandma's house?
No.
His grandma sees a whole gunshot wound in his head and sees that John has apparently been through a lot in the past day. She also admits and comes flat out with the fact that, you know, her son, BJ, just died. She knows all of this. She knows that her son, BJ, just died. He knows that hell was apparently the reason why.
And I know everything hell's done, everything hell does.
She comes forward with the fact that she knows about everything that hell's been up to in the past, 20 years when he's been building his drug empire, along with the fact that she knows exactly where he is. She lied to that nigga at first when she told him that she didn't know where he was. When he went to the garage and just smoked that black and mild because apparently that black and mild was fucking bad.
That's a black mile.
That's a black mile. A black and mild and wild. So, but whatever. All right, cool. So it comes to my head that she lied to that nigga at first because she said that she didn't know where he was. And that bugged me that your grandma would even lie to you. So I feel, hey, I'm gonna tell you, I ain't even gonna stand. My grandma lied to me about anything, and I feel
gotta hurt.
That's wild. Not only did she lie to him and refuse to relinquish the location of hell because he went there to ask her where he was, and she did not want to get that nigga.
I'm talking about how was her birthday.
How it was her birthday, and it was just such a great day, apparently, because her son didn't die and John didn't just get shot.
No. Okay. So she said BJ was the last of my boys to die, blah blah blah. So insinuated she's had a bunch of sons die, and because we know Hell's is John's cousin. And she's like, my boy died today, you got shot. I know Hell did it. So then we get to the scene where he's like, where's Hell? She's like, John, don't do nothing. I can't let you do nothing to him. That man just killed your son.
Your son.
To kill me.
I mean,
he killed your son and shot your other grandson. He's like, I don't want to nap. You can't do nothing. I don't want you to.
He full-fledged tells his grandmother it's either Hell or me at this point. And she tells John, she lies to him and say that she don't know where he was. And then tells him, I don't want nothing else to happen. This nigga gonna kill me. Going to hold me down after today. That's gonna be that on that. All right, she finally tells John, hey, all of Hell's mail has apparently been getting sit here for weeks and weeks on weeks on weeks, which blows me because wouldn't police understand that, if I wanted to catch a drug kingpin and I don't really know where he is, I can go to his mama's house, check her fucking mail, have a search warrant to check his mama's house, check her mail. What's his mystery address? Maybe we send, niggas in white coming out of that fucking house. Down the street in the fucking suburbs. Maybe we should go and do a drug bust there. In 30 years, nobody thought about this. Not a
Niggas
fucking
was
soul
scared,
thought
too.
about any of this.
It's facts.
So we get
They was
another-
terrified, Rashad.
He had his
Alright.
finger on the pulse of the city, Rashad. That's
So
his city.
we end up seeing John go.
No, he run Compton.
Man, it is whatever. We end up seeing John go from his
Did you know they were in Compton?
to walking to his cousin's apparently drug kingpin palace, right? We watch him go down the street and walk there. All right, on the way there, we have like this real cute scene of what's that boy's name from All American? What's that little boy's name? I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
Younger brother from All American ends up pulling up on John, asking him, "Hey, how'd you get so big? I want to be as big as you one day." You know, it's real inspirational. It's real cute. It's real great, and you know all this stuff like that. All right, out of fucking nowhere, they cut away from that scene to cut into Black Jesus, aka Slink Johnson, and another nigga in the truck. And I'm gonna tell you what.
Compton legend.
In my entire time of watching this movie, I'm trying to figure out like good parts of it because I don't like even just like tearing movies apart like this. This was the one good part of the movie.
Okay, I'm glad you said it. I thought we was going to have to argue about it.
No, this was the one good part of the movie, and I can tell that they let Slink Johnson write his own jokes right here because that was his humor. That was Black Jesus humor, and I'm gonna tell you what, it was real good because we get to introduced to Slink Johnson and another nigga from Black Jesus season 3. Ain't nobody seen that season, because you know, rest in peace, Charlie Murphy. But we get introduced to 2 henchmen of hell, and you know they have like a joke dialogue section of, "Hey, do we want to smoke? No, I don't want to smoke to pass time because you know you already know what hell about. We about burning niggas holes in the mouth if you find out you smoking on the job and shit like that." All right, cut to silence. Wait, you know what? Which part of the human centipede would you rather be, the front or the back? Obviously, the answer is the front. Obviously, the answer, if you know you want to be a part of a human centipede, is the front of the fucking centipede, not the middle or the back, but obviously it's the front. So I mean, they get in an argument about, you know, why are we bringing up this stupid ass conversation? We're supposed to be watching motherfuckers and shit like that. Then we see John trucking his ass down the fucking sidewalk. Happy-go-lucky John, not happy-go-lucky, actually angry John, walking down the sidewalk with a sledgehammer. Slink Johnson gets out of the truck to tell him, "Hey, you on the wrong side of the neighborhood, boy." And that it makes me think that they were apparently stopping everybody who went down that way because don't nobody know what John Henry looked like. His own ex-girlfriend, who he had just been to prom with 20 to 30 years ago, didn't know what he looked like. So they was apparently telling everybody, "Hey, leave this fucking neighborhood," even though they in the suburbs. They in the fucking suburbs. White people stay out there as well as other black people, other black families. This legit looked like a real deal, like, you know, hey, I make maybe $80,000 a year and I'm staying out here type of.
It look nice. It look nice.
It's that type of neighborhood. It's a neighborhood where you would see like sprinklers and shit going on in the fucking yard. But he tells the nigga, "Hey, you on the wrong side of the neighborhood." He sees John Henry, a fucking 300-pound, huge, gigantic man with a sledgehammer walking down the sidewalk, does not shoot. John has enough time to cock back, reach back, swing the hammer, and smash Slink Johnson's head into a telephone pole with the side of the hammer. I don't really like how they did this scene.
With his friend in the driver
right there.
So apparently he got out of the situation. They both had guns. He got out of the situation. Boom. Oh, dude, like just doesn't.
We don't even get introduced to see exactly what happened to the other nigga that he was having a human centipede conversation with. We just assume that John killed that nigga. In Superman Thor action or something like that. I would love to see how he got out of there. I ain't even gonna.
So then we move forward to Ludacris's room or place that doesn't have any lights on ever in this fucking
dark room.
Always in the dark under a black light. So then they got henchman B, the woman who shot John, on trial. Everybody staring at her. She's like, "You ain't about to punch me." So then Ludacris pulls out the blowtorch. It's about to go down. And then he was like, hey.
Tell him why, DeLon.
Yeah, because she shot John. She wasn't supposed to shoot John. But
it was against the rules.
Then dude's about to shoot her. And he's like, yeah, she's like, he ain't gonna shoot me. Boom, John cuts the power. So then henchman B says, fuck this. Stands up, points the gun at Luda. And Luda's henchman A points the gun back at henchman B. And Luda's like, you ain't gonna do it. And then, what happened after that? I think John knocks a hole into the wall or some shit.
Yeah.
And then
he was in his designing bag.
Yes, and then Luda's like, go kill it. We either gonna kill you, you go kill him.
Corey, he could have said, here's Johnny.
He could have. He really could have.
Before that, when John smashed a hole into the wood walls, non-insulated, just pure wood. The only thing separating the outside from the inside is just wood. When he smashed the wood, apparently a piece of wood had stuck itself into henchman A that was stopping the woman from killing Luda, and that nigga just like bled out everywhere, over everybody. All right, cool. Luda unfazed. He just chilling. He just sitting there watching a nigga get juiced by a piece of wood, and that's just that on that. All right. John peeks his head in, and that's all we see from John at this point. All right. Luda tells henchman B, hey, go kill him. And then, it's about the part where DeLon was just talking about how, oh, you were just about to kill me. Now you want me to kill him? And then he was like, yeah, yes, I do. So what you gonna do? And she decides not to shoot Ludacris in the face, but to go out and hunt John Henry. All right. John, and apparently everybody in the movie is just omniscient because she knows that John is in a shack in the backyard of Luda's henchman's house. Apparently they got a backyard full of like gardening tools and shit and stuff like that. The shit didn't even have no guns in it. It's just gardening tools.
At all.
So she shoots
not even a blowtorch.
She shoots the door of the shed. Boom, boom. John ain't back there. All right, bet. She peeks back behind the door. John ain't back there. Tell me why she takes 1 step into the house. Behind the door.
Bow!
John Henry comes and smashes her feet.
Johnny!
Hey, I'm going to tell you what. They did not have to show any of that. Because that hurt. That hurt to see. Hey, man.
Blood spurts everywhere. She's covered in blood from her knee. John, survived 2 bullets. Apparently, I don't know. Just boom. So she's crawling. John about to finish her. She's like, "Don't do it." And John's like, "You know what?" He just walks away. We go to the front yard. John walks out badass. He doesn't even look back. Starts beating down the car. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, John, you just murdered a bunch of people. You are not looking around at all. You are just certain no one's going to shoot you in the back of the head. Like, you're just sure. So then Luda comes out with the blowtorch. Like, John, your daddy liked this car. John said, don't you say my daddy's name. And then Luda gets his shit off. We family, John. You ain't have to be like this, John. You blah, 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 blah. And then John says, we ain't family no more. And then they start kind of talking back to each other. So then they have their face off. Battle of the interesting weapons. John, his sledgehammer. Ludacris, his blowtorch. It's get it on moment. John takes 1 step forward. Boom! Henchman C shoots John in the knee.
There was nothing in, like, I thought these niggas was finna get ready to fucking lightsaber duel.
I really did.
And a hammer. I didn't know how it was gonna happen, but I was really I was here for the ride at this point. I'm here for the
John been shot twice at this point. He says, boom, shot in the knee. Stands up. I'm like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Your dad did that, you can't do this. Stands up, boom. Dude, Henchman C shoots him in the hip. I'm like, damn, this is a tough scene.
A couple times. I ain't even gonna stunt with you.
I was like, damn, they gonna do John in again? Because the first time they shot him, like, damn, this is a bold movie. They shot John again. Luda's like, you know why I don't carry a gun? I don't mean one, pussy. So then, Henchman's about to.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm so sorry to keep cutting you off, but it blows my mind that apparently the the thought process of being able to shoot family members and not being able to shoot family members kind of just goes back and forth in the game, because the henchman B was just on trial for shooting John in the fucking head. Then all of a sudden, when he takes a step forward, approaching Luda, henchman C just decides, you know what I'm gonna do? Even though I just witnessed this trial of this girl going on trial for shooting John, I'm gonna shoot this nigga.
so then, Luda's about to start fucking with John. Henchman C's about to finish John off. We see the whole crowd of people standing behind. And the little boy from the earlier scene, he's like, I can't watch this. Runs out, tries to give John his hammer. Boom, gunshot. Boy's on the ground. We're like, no, he didn't just shoot the boy. Luda's like, everybody's like, so then we see the boy laying there. He's like, the mom goes up, what your ass think you're doing? She's like snatching him up to the back. I was like, okay, so then who got shot? Henchman B, the woman who was on trial for shooting John, shot Henchman C in the fucking forehead. How is everyone getting headshots?
How did she get a headshot from that angle? Because Henchman C was standing on a porch.
Henchman B was behind Ludacris.
Crawling.
No leg had crawled to the front yard. Like, you were gonna kill me. You broke my kneecap. I'm siding with you. I'm sorry, Chief. Shoot him.
No. All right. She sees two niggas in the front yard. You know what? I could kill this nigga who had me on trial, or I could kill the nigga who just broke my kneecap. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shoot that nigga. This completely uninvolved nigga on the porch. I'm gonna shoot that nigga in the fucking head. This ain't even the nigga that was finna get ready to shoot her in the inside at first. She shoots up no whole other uninvolved nigga at this point.
So then John stands up through his miraculous knee problem. Starts walking over to Luda. Ludacris is like, and like tries to like back up real quick, but trips
Scary
over
movie
the
crawl
tree.
away scene.
Now my thing is Ludacris. That's Terry Crews. Large man, has a hammer. He has a shot in the hip, a shot in the knee, and was like shot in the head yesterday. You, although you were shot in the jaw 20 years ago, are an able-bodied adult. Are you really backing away from this man that can barely walk? Like, you don't, like...
He's not even really here.
You could just open the flamethrower and, like, let off for, like, 10 seconds, and it's over.
No, it's a blowtorch, so it wouldn't have worked. That would not have worked. It's
he
just
could have ran up and got the gun. He could have done so many things. Ran off. You're an able-bodied adult. Like, you were backing away. Like, and then you trip over the fucking tubes. That's how that scene went. And then John stands up. I'm like, okay. He might have him in a pickle, but there's no way he's going to be able to stand up, get the torque off his knee to get this last hammer shot down. So then he stands up, gets the torque off his knee, hammer shot down. Ludacris, we family, squish.
Squish.
John immediately just like. So then we see John's laying there in the yard. You don't actually see him, which from his point of view, he comes back awake. We got Berta and her brother like, oh, thank you, John. And they run away. They're not even there when he like fades back out. They just run away.
Facts. They just leave.
Then the last scene in the movie, we just see the grass, and then we're over John's arm. It's just him standing there. And it's John Henry, and then it's a song, and then died with a hammer in his hand, but there's no hammer. And the CVS woman grabs his hand one last time as the credits.
She grabs his hand, and John grabs her hand back. So John ain't dead at this point, even though
the song was clearly saying John Henry died with a hammer in his hand, or whatever the song says.
Right.
Illustrated, he's supposed to be dead.
Right. Because he is. He caught the gunshot wound up there, two of them down here, and he already exhausted from like crushing what, 3 people at this point.
He's a Henry.
And I'm laying down on the ground. I'm thinking I'm dead. But mysterious, apparently healer woman Tasha grabs my hand, I can grab her hand back, and they just live happily ever after. It's implied they live happily ever after.
I took it as he was dead. But
Yeah, I took it as he was dead too.
He grabbed you saw.
I think you're muted.
yeah, I saw, but I just assumed that after that he kind of failed.
Corey, I think you're muted.
Who?
Yeah, my fault.
Yeah, you were muted. Yeah.
Right. Even if he not dead, he going to prison. He might as well be dead. But his hand twitched like 6 times, which really threw me off.
I'm gonna tell you what, police wasn't doing shit but antagonizing black men at this point. So I mean, I don't think you would.
So even if he wasn't dead, they was gonna shoot him.
Who was they?
It's like I'm telling y'all, no one is letting a man that size just live.
Exactly.
If they find out
Everybody
that he's
let
shot-
a man that size do whatever the fuck he wanted the entire movie.
Listen.
I don't know, man. John Henry took some L's.
He's been shot in the head, and he's like, "Oh man, messed my line up a little bit." He has been. What else?
This is my line up.
He's been shot multiple times, like in the leg, and he's caught like 4 bodies. They're killing him on sight.
All of this is in a 24-hour span.
Man, they're burning his body like a witch on sight.
Facts.
All right, fellas. So, scale of 1 to 10. How are we each rating John Henry? Let's start with Cord.
You on my Letterboxd review?
Oh yeah.
Before or after we give our?
Let's do it after.
Okay.
All right. So, Cord. Scale. No, I wouldn't say 1 to 5. How are you rating John Henry?
1. Almost a -1. One of the worst movies I've seen in a very long time. And what's really killing me is it was just so much unnecessary dialogue. And it was so much stuff that didn't make no sense, bro. I gotta give it a 1, fam. And usually with hood movies, like, at least it's funny or it's preachy, it sends a message. This movie did none of those things. None of those things. I laughed 1 time. I spent the rest of the movie being confused.
It's worse than the Tyler Perry movie?
I don't think
10 times worse.
Miles worse. I'm gonna tell you what, the Tyler Perry movie.
Tyler Perry movie tonight is laugh for an hour straight.
Man.
I'm laughing straight 1 time in an hour for this movie.
Facts.
It's a 1.
Chris, what you got?
I gave it a 1, and like I said, it's because like it is bad. But like I said, it's not offensively bad. I think like what makes Cord and Rashad hate it, because like at least other black movies will have a message. I think it not having that saved it for me, because like I said, it's not offensively bad. It's just bad because of the way it's made. Like it doesn't try to be like
it's
I'm gonna have
offensively
some
bad.
kind of message. Not to me, like it didn't try to have any kind of message. So it's not like it tried to give us this whole preachy thing and it missed the mark because of how bad it was. It's just it's bad because it's bad, because somebody wrote all those things down. It was like, this is it. This will work.
Maybe it's not supposed to have a hood lesson. Maybe it's just like the original John Henry, where it's a metaphor.
It was
of man versus machine. John Henry with his hammer didn't want to pick up the gun, the machine, and guess who won out? John Henry and his hammer. Man will always beat industrialization of America.
Well,
I mean, he did.
I don't know.
He did that
about
from
beat.
gunshot wounds. I don't
Yeah,
know
he
about
died.
that.
So he didn't win. There was no W in this movie.
He lost. It's okay though.
I don't know. Berta got away. Berta getting away was a big W.
But also, it really ain't, because where's she going?
Man,
Where's she going?
Listen, spam
He's
the
an
chat with W.
accomplice of 5 murders.
Murders.
11, matter of fact.
As soon as like those police sirens were coming, as they were like saying over John, I'm like, y'all get the
She said, we going back home. She going back to Honduras.
It's 11 niggas. Matter of fact, let's count.
Gracias, John Henry. Gracias. We thank you. We gotta go. Bye.
9.
Get out of here.
BJ,
Bro,
her cousin, 11. The 4 niggas at the end. Helen. There's 15 murders they are accomplices on.
But also, you want to know the funniest part about this movie? That I wanted to wait until the end to say, all of this could have been avoided if John Henry had killed the dude when he killed his dog. If he would have killed fam from the jump, old girl never would have got kidnapped. She would have been living in a homeless shelter.
Impervious to bullets.
Bullets, man.
All right, so
What's up, man?
1 out of 5. What are we giving it?
Man, I thought it was
I'm sorry.
2-5.
1 out.
I was finna get, huh?
Never mind. I was about to say, if you're going 1 out of 5, I thought I was gonna change my score, but it's the same thing.
I thought we figured Like motherfucking 0 to 5. Because if that's the case, I'm gonna get
0 to 5. 0 to 5.
0.5. The only redeeming quality of this movie was the funny scene, was the funny dialogue that happened once per hour.
Look, and I think it was saved by the fact that it wasn't offensive and it wasn't super long. Like it was longer than a terrible movie should be. It didn't feel that. When did I watch it? It was only an hour 45 or something. Let me check.
I don't know. It was somewhere in there, and the fact of the matter is that movie was far too long for us to be sitting there the whole time and not learning a fucking thing.
It was only 91 minutes, so like
that movie felt like 2 hours. I'm not gonna hold you.
On me, that movie felt like 2 hours. There was no redeeming, and there was no redeeming quality in the entire movie. Like it felt like, I'm gonna tell you what. It felt like Terry Crews came up with this idea of this black hood, or this hood black, not even a hood black, just like a hood black folklore type character who's kind of superpowered, kind of supernatural, but he's not really tapped into it yet.
Kind of super mid.
We got the drug dealing, gang bang, violence idea. I would like to think that Ludacris and Terry Crews had two conflicting ideas, and they just mashed them together. And that was just the entire movie. And the movie ended up being like absolutely fucking terrible because of those two conflicting ass ideas. There was no point in this movie where John Henry should not have been shot. And killed. Shot and killed. Because apparently this nigga's impervious to fucking gunshot wounds as long as they split up. So as long as you split up the gunshot wounds between like maybe two seconds, he don't even feel it. He don't.
So I think I'll give it a 1.5. I think it had the opportunity to be better.
How?
Cutting some scenes, less dialogue. It's again like what I said earlier, like the premise, the things that were happening, I could see it written out as like kind of like not the scene to scene thing, but like the general story. I can see like a good story coming out of this. But like there's so many like it wasn't the worst movie I've seen though. It just wasn't the worst movie I've seen. And I feel like cutting some of the scenes a little bit shorter, adding subtitles, just the stupid things that happened, tying to loose ends would have made it a lot more watchable than it was. It was almost campy at a point, and I found myself laughing at it. I wasn't supposed to be laughing at most of it, but I did find it enjoyable. Whereas there are bad movies that I can't find any joy in making fun out of. They're just bad. But I laughed my
big old pal of meat.
I laughed my ass off at John Henry.
And that's the thing, right? We get into this slope of where movies are, and I'm really, really glad we watched Dolomite immediately after this, because the running theme of Dolomite's movie was it was laughably bad, so it was very entertaining. This movie was not. It was not entertaining even in the slightest. I didn't even have joy in the violent scenes because, they were just done terribly wrong. 1, 2, they did the whole Game of Thrones juice from all the blood and stuff like that. And they just got juice shooting out of niggas. And there was no joy in that.
And the lack of an actual connection to the actual John Henry folklore also really killed me. It made no sense. He just picked up a hammer.
Why would we get the sledgehammer in the first place? What was it? What was that about?
Makes no sense. You want to know what made more sense? If he was a reformed gang member / construction worker. Or a day laborer. He could have been like a day laborer. He could have been working with the immigrants. They building on houses. He got a sledgehammer. And then the dude he worked with get killed and was like, hey, my kid's gone missing. My biggest issue with the movie is it was small pieces of the movie that could have been a great movie, and it was the shortest part of the film. I kind of like the flashback scene because it at least had some type. It was different. Yeah. But the rest of the movie is just a big pile of nothing. You saw what?
They were long as hell, but they were different.
Yeah, but the majority of the movie that we got was just a big pile of nothing and wasted time. Every single super drawn out, and the dialogue is just just terrible. Just downright terrible. I don't even know what else to call it. Hey man, should have called Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry could do something with this.
No.
So,
Hey man,
He didn't put
at least
Tyler
would have had a
himself in the
message.
movie. Medea would have been his grandma. Don't you understand?
All the way.
That black
Wait,
woman,
yeah,
that woman
grandma.
Tasha at CBS would have come back with her own two
Who would have saved him?
and knocking niggas out.
So that means that John Henry officially has a popular demand score of a 1 out of 5.
1 out of 5.
Do you have any other? My last thing. In that flashback scene where John shot his cousin in the jaw when they were fighting over the gun because John wanted out of the game, his brother said, John said, when's it supposed to end? He said, it's not supposed to end. I'm going to be a king with you at my side. I'm going to be a king. Flash forward to him getting murdered in front of his lawn in the suburbs with only 4 henchmen. He only had 4.
Not very king-like.
That wasn't very cash money of you, hell.
No.
That's facts.
Any last thoughts about John Henry starring Terry Crews and Ludacris and Steve?
I don't never want to see or hear about this movie again,
Wait,
and
come on.
everybody involved should be ashamed of themselves.
Corey, you gotta hear this. You don't get to escape.
Salute to
it just
DJ
yet.
Quick though. They had DJ Quick doing the music and they had him doing Western movies. I'll never forget these people, fam. They the ops.
Anybody else?
I would like to bring up the talk about the henchman B in the movie, the girl with braids.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what. After this movie, I went on all of these. I went to see exactly where all these people got their first starts on, just to see if anybody's like first, just to see if this is anybody's like first movie, like first big movie. I'm
It's half the cast first movie.
She a baddie. And the movie did not.
Hey, okay.
All right. I
They
believe
did
it.
not. Matter of fact. Nah, I can't do it. I
I believe. What's her name?
Daphne McGarry Clark. Daffany Clark.
What a name.
All right. I remember that.
I'm gonna tell you
Bruh,
what.
75% of this film is everybody on this film first movie, except for Terry Crews and Ludacris.
The director, it's his first thing. He wrote it, directed, and he composed it. That was never gonna go well. And this is his first movie, so
It was Tyler Perry bag.
I hope not. I hope somebody gets in this there like,
Nah,
man,
bro, these are the moves he go get if the movie theater shut down. I just want y'all to know that.
That nigga is a rough.
Yes.
Watching.
Yes.
Anywho, Chris, so you have some Letterboxd scores for us, or Letterboxd
Yeah.
reviews?
Couple of reviews. Let's see. 1 star for Mixtape. Bro, this shit was ass. Very
That's
direct. Well, another 1 star. Oh, I'm sorry. This one's half a star. This one kind of made me laugh. I'm still like I said, half a star. Ate a 300 milligram edible and was brought to tears over Ludacris' face makeup.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna tell you what.
Oh no!
This movie might
Brought
be.
to tears.
You know what? We gotta write this down. We can cut this out, but we gotta write this down for a future idea. We can have us get high, all get high, collectively high, or DeLon be off some. I don't know, something like that. When we get to the point where we want to like do that, when we all can get high and rewatch all of our bad movies, or at least just one bad movie to see if the
Sound like a plan.
We have to do a live commentary episode one day.
Facts.
Let's see, another one. 1
Bro, I
star.
legit probably moved it like 30 times. I was so mad.
Terry Crews' head muscle stop a bullet. The last one, it's half a star. Survived a gunshot wound to the head, but forgot Graham's birthday.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna tell you what. His grandma was a pretty shitty grandma, so I would forget her ass birthday too. Man,
Yeah, but he didn't know that then, though.
Hey, you gonna die, but I don't want you to kill the other grandson. Clearly, he wasn't her favorite. Even though he pulled up on her on a lot more, he was not the favorite grandson. He was not.
Hey man, she was playing favorites. She the Ops fan. She just as much as the Ops as Ludacris.
Man, most grandparents have favorites. I'm my grandma,
facts.
but this nigga drug kingpin, murderer.
This is who you support. Is this your favorite?
So was that the last one, Chris?
Yeah, I only had those 3. We're trying to keep it short.
All right. Well, everybody, thank y'all for tuning in to Popular Demand John Henry Review. John Henry received a 1 out of 5, unfortunately. Tune in next time. We review next.
He deserved it and more.